welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. And animal wrangling for us today is our volunteer coordinator, Sean Snyder. And our first guest today is Arlo. And Arlo is one of the few remaining kittens on the adoption floor that does not have an application yet. He's not your 3-month-old kitten, which is what a lot of people are looking for. He's a little bit older at 8 to 10 months old, but still has plenty of kitten energy. One of the things that I've noticed in our brief interactions, because he's relatively new to the adoption floor, is that while he's color-coded green, which is a higher energy level animal, he is a little bit shy. So he is still getting used to living in the shelter environment. Actually, when I went to get him today, he was under his rug, facing the back of his cage. So he's definitely going to take a little bit of time to warm up in a new environment. He's ear-tipped, so that probably indicates to us that he was maybe an animal that was outside for a period of time. A lot of barn cats or feral cats get ear tips so that people can tell from a distance that they've already been altered. So this might be his first real experience at being a house cat, and he has plenty of great potential. He's relatively calm, other than being a little bit nervous, but still, very much a kitten, figuring out who he wants to be, what he wants to do. If you are interested in meeting with Arlo, you can come here to the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our hours of visiting hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. Our adoption fee for Arlo is going to be $97.50. That covers all of the medical care that he's received here, as well as his room and board. Again, if you're interested in him, you want to make sure that you stop by and visit him before someone else scoops him up. Our next guest is considered a senior here in our facility. Sylvie is 5 years old, and at age 5, we start offering senior discounts for animals that are adopted through us. So she would be up for a $20 reduction in her adoption fee, making her adoptable for $77.50 instead of the normal $97.50. Sylvie is a gray domestic shorthair. She was previously owned, and unfortunately, she's looking at, maybe her third home or more. When she was surrendered by someone who had taken her in, but had gotten her from a friend who said that it wasn't working out there. And they tried to keep her, but I guess the reason was that she wasn't doing well with the other cats in the household. So it's possible that Sylvie would do better as an only cat. We haven't seen any signs that really indicate that she has to be by herself, unlike Bombay, who we have listed as an only cat home. He likes to growl and hiss at the other cats when he sees him. We've not seen any of those indications with Sylvie. She is a little bit shy, they say, and a little bit nervous, but here she's been color-coded orange, which means that she's individually average. So in her cage, she's not very shy. She's very confident. She just kind of lays there and sleeps. She was okay with being picked up. Some of the noises from the air vents in the studio today are making her a little anxious, but that's pretty common. But for the most part, she's not really having any issues being in a new environment with unfamiliar people. The previous owner suggests that she might do better in a quiet household, but that's something that you really have to assess when you're looking at these things. Are you going to try to make it work, or is it going to be too much commotion for a cat that's a little bit older? We have charted her litter box usage. She's been using her litter box here, and she's a little bit on the heavy side. She weighs 13 pounds, 4.5 ounces. So we have been, all of the animals that come in, we monitor their food intake. So hopefully while she's here, she'll shed a few pounds, and her new owner will be a little bit more diligent about making sure that she's staying at a healthy weight. If you're interested in Sylvie, you can visit her here at the shelter. We are open to the public Monday through Saturday. Our next guest is Mo, and Mo is currently our longest in-house resident. She has been with us In February, it will be a full year since she's been here. Her intake date was February 21st. She is not the longest resident, however. So we have some living at the Cat Cafe. Emmy has been here longer. We have a dog in foster care who's been here longer. But as for animals that live here in our facility, she is the longest resident. Now you might be asking yourself, why is Mo wearing a cone? So Mo is wearing a cone because sometimes she gets a little overzealous in her grooming, and she was grooming her face and scratched open her chin. So while her chin is healing up, we are keeping her in a cone so she can't scratch it anymore. Sometimes she does stress over groom, and that's something that we keep an eye on. But for the most part, Mo has been doing really well lately. She's lived in a bunch of areas in the shelter, and the area where she seems the most happy and the most herself is in her own private little suite. So she lives in a bigger room, and people can go in and visit with her, play with her, and what we've discovered since she's been in there is that she's incredibly social. She loves to have a person with her to hang out. She does well in our kitty cabana. She did well with one other cat, but when you started adding multiple cats in there, it wasn't really something that she enjoyed very much. So she would prefer to be either an only cat or just have one other cat friend. She loves to play with a variety of things. She likes the toys that move, and she likes to watch those. She likes the laser pointer, strings, and recently she has decided that she is a serious lap cat. She will not get off. If you move your legs, then she will just balance on them and move to the other side. Like, I've turned my whole body sideways and she still finds a way to stay on your lap because she is very determined, as is evidenced by the fact that she scratched open her chin. When she wants to do something, she's going to do it. Mo is about 6 years old, so she does qualify for our senior discount. If you were to make Mo part of your family, you would get her, be able to adopt her for a fee of $77.50. That covers all of the medical care that we've provided for her while she's here, as well as her room and board. Mo is definitely an awesome cat. Sometimes she can be a little sassy, but for the right person, she's going to be a great addition. This is Soot Sprite, and she is about 1 year old. She came to us as a stray, but unlike some of the other cats that come as strays, she's super confident. She's not nervous in her cage at all. She comes right up to the front. She wants attention. As soon as you open that cage, she starts purring. She wants to rub up against you. She loves to be petted and played with, and she's going to make a great addition to any household. She is a domestic medium hair, so her fur is a little bit longer, so she may need some assistance with grooming maintenance. Cats with the longer fur can sometimes get mats, which can be very painful for them. It's like when your hair has a big tangle in it, it just pulls on the skin, and it's very uncomfortable. So you want to make sure that you're helping her out with making sure that she's getting brushed a little bit more regularly than maybe a short-haired cat. Also, if those mats get pretty bad, you just have to clip them out. So just making sure that you're prepared for that. When you're visiting with her, one thing that you might notice is that she is still a little sneezy. So here in the shelter, a lot of cats get an upper respiratory infection. It's kind of like a cold, similar symptoms as to when we have a cold. She has been treated for that, but sometimes they have a little bit of residual sneezing. It's not uncommon for that to happen. That's really why we encourage you to not touch all of the animals when you're visiting, and if you are interacting with an animal, to clean your hands between each cage so that we're not spreading those germs, because when they do get sick, they have to go into our sick room area for 2 weeks and be treated, and that is going to extend their stay here in our facility. Once they do come back out, they're available for adoption. Not really any serious issues. It is not contagious to other animals. It's a cat-specific illness. So you just have to be a little bit more careful if you're handling a sick cat here when you go home. Wash your hands, things like that. This cat is about 5 pounds, so she is, a year old. She's not going to grow very much more. She might fill out, but when you have a petite cat like Soot Sprite, you do want to make sure that you're paying attention to how much you are feeding her. Petite cats can become overweight much more easily, and there are all kinds of health problems that can be associated with that excessive weight gain in the animal. So you just want to make sure that you're just being a little bit more diligent, not throwing tons of food down and letting her have a smorgasbord. Then she might end up a big cat like Sylvie, who was on the show a little bit earlier. If you are interested in Soot Sprite, you can visit her here. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. The last feline that we have for you today is Maz. She is 1 to 2 years old. She came to us as a stray, so we named her as part of our Star Wars naming series. With the release of the latest film, I have not seen Star Wars. I know it's shocking to most people, but in the 20-second crash course that I got, apparently Maz is a awesome character who's super helpful and points people to their destiny and does all kinds of great things. And so now she's looking, our Maz is looking for great things in her life. She's looking for a forever family. She is, again, about 1 to 2 years old. She's very calm and relaxed. Every time I walk by her cage, she's just kind of hanging out. She likes to curl up in her bed. She's another one of our more petite animals. She only weighs 6 pounds, 14 ounces. So she's definitely has that forever kitten face to her. She definitely looks like she's still a baby, and a lot of people are really into that forever kitten look, and you're definitely going to get that with her. She's not going to grow much more. We've already made sure that she's been spayed. She's current on her vaccinations. All she needs is for you to come in and visit with her. She is on one of the backside cages, so it might be harder to look for her, find her. So if you're specifically seeing her and you want to visit with her here at the shelter, if you let the staff or volunteers know, they can point you in the right direction. She has also had that upper respiratory infection while she's here, and now she's on the mend, and she's just ready to move on to that next step. As you can see, she's not really the quintessential lap cat. She doesn't want to stay in one place, but that doesn't mean that once she settles into a home, she might not want to sit next to you or just always be in the room with you. Not every cat wants to sit on top of you all the time, but she's not trying to get away. She's relatively confident. She's not really scared in this new environment, so hopefully she would adjust rather quickly in your home. She is color-coded green, which means she's going to have a little bit more energy, maybe a little bit more squirmy when you're trying to hold her. If you are interested in Maz, you can adopt her here for a fee of $97.50. That covers all of the things that we've discussed, and it's a great deal. If you are looking for her, definitely stop in and visit. If you didn't see any cats that were interesting to you, you can always stop in and visit. There are plenty more on the adoption floor. If you don't see anything there, you can always check out what we have available at the Cat Cafe. After the break, we're going to introduce all of our dog lovers to 5 of our adoptable canines.
The Frederick County Department of Aging is proud to announce a new initiative that is designed to streamline the application process for several benefit programs that assist older adults and persons with disabilities. This information and assistance event is a partnership of the Frederick County Department of Aging, the Maryland Food Bank, and the Frederick County Department of Social Services. 1 day per month at each of the county's senior centers, the Department of Aging will host representatives to assist with the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program application, formerly known as food stamps, and the Energy Assistance application. Also on hand will be the Senior Health Insurance Program Coordinator, who will answer Medicare questions and screen for Medicare subsidy programs. These events will begin at 10 a.m. and take place at the Frederick, Urbana, Emmitsburg, and Brunswick Senior Centers. Appointments are encouraged, walk-ins are welcome. For more information, to make an appointment, or in case of inclement weather, please call the Frederick County Department of Aging at 301-600-3520.
Our first canine guest today is Jojo, and Jojo is one of the many small dogs that we have on the adoption floor right now. He is approximately 3 years old. He's a black and white Chihuahua mix, but it is important to know that a lot of these small dogs that we have on the adoption floor right now are pretty shy. They definitely are going to be dogs that are going to do better in a quieter, more patient, more understanding environment. Lots of loud kids running around, throwing things might not be the best situation for them. They do not know how to walk on leash yet, and JoJo is one of those that really needs to be carried right now. So when you're teaching them to walk on leash, it's really important to be patient, encourage them with verbal praise, with maybe food treats, but you want to definitely make sure that you're not dragging any dogs that are uncomfortable with leash walking yet around. Be very slow and cautious with them. Things that they also need to learn. According to their behavior assessments, JoJo and some of his friends are not yet house trained, so you need to expect that you're going to have to be putting in a lot of effort to make sure that they are learning to go to the bathroom outside. He's very cautious, he's a little fearful, he has no reaction with other dogs. He has lived with other dogs before, so that's not really a problem, but you do want to make sure that if you have an existing dog, that you bring that dog in to meet with JoJo to see how that interaction is going to be. It's not 100%, but it's a pretty good indicator on whether or not the living situation is with the two of them is going to be something you can work with, or if it's definitely going to be uncomfortable for both of the animals. He takes some coaxing. He's not capable of walking, which we've already discussed. He leans in and enjoys touch, but he's a little nervous at first. So it just takes him a minute to realize, like, okay, I like this. This is okay. But he just needs somebody who's really going to work with him and allow his true personality to shine through. It's something that might happen relatively quickly in a home environment, or it might be something that's going to take even longer. You just need to be committed to JoJo. The adoption fee for our adult dogs is $92.50, and you can visit JoJo here at the shelter Monday through Saturday. Our next guest is definitely larger and more confident than our previous guest. This is Spot, and Spot is a 1.5-year-old black and white pit bull mix. He came to us previously owned. Unfortunately, his owners were moving and were not able to take him along. They did have other dogs in the house, but they were able to rehome those dogs on their own, and unfortunately, they just weren't able to find a good living situation for Spot. So they brought him here to us so that we could do that for them. So he has previously lived with 3 other dogs, another pit bull mix, and then 2, a dachshund and a terrier mix. In his kennel, we've discovered that Spot is not super thrilled with other dogs walking past him, and that's not an uncommon thing. We have plenty of dogs who are like that. But outside the kennel, he does seem to do well with other dogs. His owner mentioned that it takes him a while to get to know a new dog. So if you're interested in Spot and you do have another dog at home, it might be a situation where you need to do more than one meet and greet. We want you to bring in your dog, but it is perfectly acceptable to do a couple of those so that they can get to know each other. They can each get a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes it's your dog is afraid to be in the shelter environment or in a new weird place. And sometimes it's dogs like Spot who just need to get used to a dog to build that good relationship with them. According to the previous owners, he rides well in the car, he's calm, he walks on a leash, he is house trained. Our behavior assessment indicates that he does use his outside runner as separate kennel to go to the bathroom. He's friendly, he reacts favorably again to the dogs outside of the kennel. Inside, he kind of barks and growls. He's easy to obtain. He's difficult to walk because, like a lot of pit bull mixes, he likes to pull on his leash, so a harness might be beneficial for him. No serious issues with food aggression. He leans in, he really enjoys pet, things like that. We have noticed that he pulls away when handling his feet and his mouth, and because he can be nervous in new situations, the kennel staff did indicate that maybe a home with older children or adults only might be more beneficial for him. However, the previous owner said that he's been around children of all ages, so that's something that you'll just have to assess on your own, depending on how good and respectful your children are with animals. Because Spot is an adult dog, he would also be adopted for that $92.50 adoption fee, and you can visit with him here at the shelter. Visiting hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. We recently had a ton of puppies, but now we are down to just 2. Grim here and his sister, who is currently in foster care because of an injury. They are about 8 to 9 weeks old. They are black and white Shar-Pei mix puppies, and as you can see, at least Grim is definitely a handful. So if you're looking for a nice kind of calm, quiet experience with your puppy, this is probably not going to be the dog for you. He is definitely high energy. He needs, as a puppy, just in general, he needs someone who's going to teach him all of his manners. He is very wiggly. He wants to be on your lap. He wants to paw at your face. He wants to do all of those types of things. So he really needs an owner that's going to be committed to training him. And, when you have a puppy, you can't go out and do tons of fun things, because you have to be there to take care of your puppy and make sure that he goes out and he's house trained or crate trained if you want to do that, so that he learns good manners, not to jump all over people. He learns bite inhibition. He's socialized, so he's not afraid of other dogs or umbrellas or hats and all of these types of things. So it is a big, big commitment. Puppies are also just like having a baby. There's going to be sleepless nights as you're taking them out and house training them. So you just want to make sure that you're fully prepared for all that entails before you come and say, oh, look how cute he is, I want to take him home. And then you have him for a couple of days and you realize, which is something that's happened here before, that having a puppy is not for you, and then you want to bring him back. So do a lot of research, figure out if a puppy is actually going to be the right fit for you. This guy right now weighs about 16 pounds. Not really sure, how big he will be in the end. He is listed as a Shar-Pei mix, so you might do some research on that breed and see if that's something that is even going to be what you're looking for in the long term in terms of an adult dog. Puppies here are adopted through our puppy process, which means that we take 4 applications for them, up to 4, and choose the best fit for the dog. It is not a first come, first served situation. Puppies are also adopted for a higher adoption fee. They're adopted for a fee of $150. If you are interested in Grim, he will be here at the shelter. His sister looks very similar. She's currently in foster care, but will be coming back once she feels a little better. You can visit with them here at the shelter. If puppies are not your thing, totally understandable. Maybe a little bit of an older dog would be a good fit for your family. This is Vivian, and she is a 4 to 5-year-old tricolored Rottie mix. So older dogs tend to be good for first-time pet owners because their personalities are really already established, so you have more of an idea of what you're going to get. You know the size that a dog is going to be, although Miss Vivian here could stand to shed a few pounds, but she's not going to get any taller, any longer. They also tend to be a little bit more calm than, obviously, puppies like Grim, who are all over the place. Vivian did come to us as a stray. She came in with another dog, a lab mix named Lucille, who's already being adopted. So she does definitely get along with other dogs. They were even kenneled together for a period of time, so they did okay in confined quarters. We have found, since Vivian has been here with us, that she does use her outside runner separate kennel to go to the bathroom. She's very friendly when you approach her kennel. When she is in her kennel and other dogs are walking past her, she does have a negative reaction to that, just like some of the other dogs we've had on the show recently. But that's not necessarily, again, based on her interactions with Lucille, how she is with dogs outside of her kennel. So it's important to make sure that they're, if you have a dog, you just bring them in, they meet outside and see how it goes. She's very easy to obtain. She's difficult to walk because she pulls and jumps on people and things like that. A harness would be a good idea for any dog that pulls. Doesn't seem to, they might not have been able to test her for food aggression. Some dogs are just fearful and not interested in the food during that test, and then they were unable to test her for object guarding because she wasn't interested either. She really seems to enjoy being pet. She leans in for that. She had no issues handling her feet or her mouth, so she's a great overall dog. She seemed vaguely interested in that toy that Sean just provided for her, but she seems to be more interested in people and kind of getting lots of love and attention. Fun fact, she does seem to have a cute little snort that she does when she's happy. So don't be alarmed if you hear that noise. Because we always go with a higher age and Vivian is listed as 4 to 5, she would go home for a senior discount as well, making her adoptable for a fee of $92.50. Our last guest today is another one of our puppies, believe it or not. She doesn't look like one, but at about 7 to 8 months old now, she is still considered a puppy. So that means that she would, we would take up to those 4 applications for her, and she would be adopted for that $150 adoption fee. Bee is a beautiful dog. She's that blue and white color. She is listed as a lab mix, but some people have suggested that she might be a Weimaraner mix. That would be up to you to do a doggy DNA test to figure out what exactly, what breeds are there. She is a dog that doesn't always show well in her kennel. She can be it might be a little bit of a combination of things. Stress, anxiety, a little bit of fear. She kind of can be super barky and kind of people might interpret it as aggressive, but then she can also be a little fearful. So if you're interested in Bee, don't just take her kennel behavior as, oh, I'm not interested in this. Have somebody take her outside and meet her outside. As you can see here, she's being super playful, totally like a puppy. She wants to play with the toys. She's a high energy dog. So if you're looking for a couch potato, Bee is probably not going to be the dog for you. Maybe Vivian is more your speed. But if you're wanting a dog that you can take out hiking and you're going to play fetch in the backyard and maybe do some running and things like that, then Bee might be a good fit for you. But you just have to make sure that you're committed to giving her outlets for all of that energy that she has. Just like children, if we leave our dogs to their own devices, they're going to find some way to amuse themselves, and oftentimes it's not what you would prefer. So if she's bored, she might chew your couch or things like that. So you want to make sure that you're giving them all the proper mental and physical stimulation and exercise. Here we have found that Bee can be a little mouthy when she gets overstimulated, so just learning how to redirect that into appropriate things and how to take her from that 100 where she's super overstimulated and figuring out the way to get her a little bit more relaxed and to kind of reset her there. She can be friendly when she knows you, but a little excited as well when you're approaching her kennel. She play bows and gets excited when she sees other dogs. So if you do have another dog, she would probably be a good fit. We do know that she also came in with a cat, so she has previously lived with a cat. Easy to obtain, difficult to walk because she pulls and jumps and things like that, which is why she's harnessed here. She gets excited, but she's very gentle and willingly lets go of objects. As we've seen today, she clearly loves toys. She can lean in and enjoy touch, or she also can occasionally become playfully aroused. So just taking all of those things into consideration. If you have young kids, just making sure that they understand that she can get a little overstimulated, she's a little jumpy, she can be a little mouthy. Super young kids might not be a great fit for her. Maybe teenagers and things like that would be better suited to Bee's energy level. If you're interested in her, you can visit her here at the shelter. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We hope that you enjoyed meeting some of these adoptable animals today. If you didn't see anything that you're interested in, stop in. There are plenty more animals, not only other dogs and cats, but we have some small animals, some guinea pigs, rabbits, hamsters, things like that right now as well. We hope that you will stop in and visit us soon.
What is your vision for Frederick County's future? Would it include great schools and a business-friendly environment? How about arts, culture, and recreation? Or vast farmlands and thriving towns? Would you want a strong public safety presence and less traffic? These are some of the quality of life topics that are included in a long-term comprehensive plan called Livable Frederick, initiated by County Executive Jan Gardner. Part of this innovative plan includes a survey to gain insight about how citizens envision Frederick County in 30 years and beyond. This survey is available online at livablefrederick.org, and paper copies are available at local libraries and a variety of county locations. Everyone is invited to participate. The deadline to submit surveys online is July 22nd, or fill out a paper version as late as September 16th. Livable Frederick is your chance to shape the future of Frederick County. To join the conversation and get engaged, visit livablefrederick.org and click like at facebook.com/livablefrederick.